Thank you for joining us today for the virtual Sunday service with the Center for Creative Living. CCL, a charter of the Universal Church of the Master, has served and supported the spiritual needs of its community here in the Bay Area for over 20 years.
Good morning, good morning. Reverend, please be seated.
I got news for you, my push.
I apologize for the parking situation. It had nothing to do with us or with Billy DeFrank. We have an East Indian festival going on. And for those of you who made it and were able to find a place to park or walked in, took a bus or whatever, thank you so much for being here. We certainly do appreciate it. I have here something magic. Are you ready for magic?
Yay!
Yes, these are the tickets for the raffle
Yay!
at UCM. And what I'm going to do, since we've got the president of UCM sitting right here, I'm going to hand them to you, Corey, and so that if anybody wants one, you can hand it to them.
Wow. Five.
Man, it's five. It's 5 of them for $1. No.
Oh,
5 for $20 or $1 a piece.
No, $5 a piece or 5 for $20. And she will sell us out in $1.
I got carried away. I'm sorry.
No money announcements from Donnie.
No, that's exactly it. We don't want to have any announcements right now.
And we have flyers in the back.
I'm going out office tomorrow. I give them to Sheila. She applications over.
Yeah, and so we've got all sorts of things to sign on over there because we have something that's coming up next Sunday, which is sad and glorious at the same time. It's a going away party for our wonderful Reverend Annie. Reverend Ann Corbin is our associate pastor, and she has been somebody I could lean on forever, it seems like. She's been in our lives for so long, and we're sorry to see her go, but we know she's excited about moving up to Eugene, Oregon, and being closer to her family, and bought a house, and it's also positive. And yet, still there's that tug, you know, how when a really good friend is moving away. So, what we're doing is we're having a luncheon at the 4th Street Bowl, and I called the 4th Street Bowl, and I need a reservation, and it's going to be at 1 o'clock next Sunday after church. And for those of you who don't know, the 4th Street Bowl is on 4th Street, how about that? And it's just right off of Gish. And it's been a long time institution here in San Jose. We know the lady who runs it very well, owns it. Her name is Jan. And she said, do you want to order off the menu? And I said, yes. So you can order off the menu whatever you want, and you're going to take care of your own check. But what we're going to do is say no presents. Because Annie has enough stuff to haul to Eugene. She doesn't need any presents. But what the present she wants is...
Gift card work.
And what I would suggest, she's got a lot of gasoline she's going to have to buy. So if you want to get her a gas card for some place where she could buy gasoline, that would probably be a nice present. If you feel like you just have to give her a present, okay? The other thing is my birthday party is on the 27th of August. And it is all the way to Corralitos, and Corralitos is over between Watsonville and Santa Cruz, or between Watsonville and Silva Beach, if you're familiar with the area. And we have a band playing, and it's the Stingrays. And I talked to Blaine yesterday, and he's all excited because one of the band members used to play for the Beach Boys. So there's some really interesting music going on, and so we want you to check if you're going to be going, sign up, and because I'm not giving out my sister's address just to everybody, but if you're going, we'll give you driving instructions on how to get there in case you don't know, because there's a very picturesque way coming into Corralitos from the back, down Hames Road. It's a beautiful area, so we want you to be able to have the driving instructions, but first you need to put your name and your email there, so I'll know that.
And you could tell them about the Corralitos Meat Market right there.
The Corralitos Meat Market has best sausage and anywhere. It's incredible. Corralitos is a cute little town.
Dottie?
Yes. Oh, Amanda, sorry. I didn't.
Sorry, so the reason, so if anyone is going to Dottie's birthday party next week, or no, sorry, 2 weeks from now, I would like to go, so, I live on Monterey and Kirtner, so.
Okay, Monterey and Kirtner. Okay, great.
Yeah, if we can get you right, yeah.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I'm
you're
not.
right. You gotta do it. Okay.
I got it.
As long as I can take it, I'm taking Jan and I can take you to another.
Okay, good. Thank you, Ann.
Thank you, Ann.
Okay, so, anybody else have any announcements they want to make right now? Yes. Joan,
Can I come up there?
only sit on my left. No. Watch the cords, watch the cords. Okay, here we go. Here we are.
I want to mention two things. One is that Jeannie is not here today, but she is having another hypnosis workshop on September 10th. If you're interested, please let me know, and next week she'll probably be here and you can tell her. And also I want to mention that Tim Morrow's CDs and his music is available online, timmorrow.com.
Oh.
And it's really lovely meditation, spiritual new thought truths. So if you have trouble meditating and maybe you can't sit still and wait for the angels to speak to you, you can have Tim speak to you.
Beautiful.
And it's good truth, good music, and it's timmorrow.com. Is that right, Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, online. It's easier on a desktop than on your phone, but it's available both places.
Tomorrow is spelled.
Mauro, TIMMAURO.
There's a lot of ways to spell.
Okay,
tomorrow.
Yeah.
thank
If
you.
anyone wants me to text you a link, I can.
No, careful.
Yeah, careful with the
Watch.
Okay.
I'm careful.
And September 10th is also going to be our second class. We are starting metaphysical, spiritual, and ministerial training classes September 1st, which is our first Thursday. And these are going to be held at the Universal Church of the Master. And we'd love to have anybody who wants to come. It's a free introduction to what's going to be happening. Hello, Mel.
Hello, welcome.
Hello, amazing. And what's going on with these classes? These are classes if you want to know more about metaphysics, if you want to know more about spirituality, and it's also, we're going to talk to you about if you'd like to become a UCM minister, because after you've completed a year of the classes, you can become a minister, okay? The classes are going to be done on Zoom, and we're also going to be putting them on YouTube. So if you don't want to get up and go out at 7 o'clock at night, especially as it gets more into the winter, you will be able to still take the classes on Zoom. So this is something I'm really excited about. We've got some great instructors. Dr. Eileen is an instructor. Reverend Dr. Childs is an instructor. Mary Gary is an instructor. And Lonnie Broadwick has 2 classes she's helping to do. And Joan. So we have all these wonderful instructors that are going to be talking about it. And so you're going to hear more as it gets closer. What? Oh, and the Reverend Donnie Boone. So there's a lot of interesting classes about things that maybe you haven't even thought of. And Reverend Corky Whitaker is a hypnotherapist, and she's going to be talking about helping you with all sorts of things. So a lot of our instructors are here today. Yes?
I didn't want to interrupt your thing, but if you have a minute, I'd like to talk about the conference on September 10th.
Okay, come on up.
So Simon's in the house.
I project pretty well. I think I can do it.
Yeah, but it doesn't get recorded for Zoom.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Simon's in the house.
Hi, Simon.
Hi.
You came in with a mask, and I didn't even recognize you. I didn't recognize you. I went, "There's a good-looking guy. Who was that?" Okay, and then Mel walked in.
That's Simon.
Well, we just got distracted by all these great guys, didn't
Yeah.
we? But I want to distract you with another option. On September 9th is the business meeting for the Universal Church of the Master. So if you're already ordained and you'd like to know how the church has functioned from a business standpoint through the year, that will be available at 7:30 to 9. The location is where we're going to have our conference the next day, which is the Christ Unity.
First Church of Christ.
First Church of Christ.
United.
And it's on,
United Church of Christ.
Did y'all get that?
It's on the website.
Okay.
Yeah. And one of the most exciting things about the conference is Dr. Richard Jellish and his wife, Dr. Michelle Jellish, are both going to do the keynote for us. And for those of you who may not have heard all that went on in his life, he and his wife went for a weekend.
Mary, please talk into the mic so they can hear it on Zoom.
Oh, I thought she said something about not doing it. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
Sorry, you on Zoom. I'm talking about the conference to be held September 10th for the Universal Church of the Master. And we are having a keynote speaker that is Dr. Richard Jellish and his wife, Michelle. Both of them are PhDs, Michelle, in psychology. And what happened is they went to Mexico for a little weekend getaway, and he came down with COVID. And he came down with COVID so severe that he was in intensive care there for weeks on a ventilator, dropped to the subconscious level that you do on I won't let my medical hat get in here, but he was essentially put down with the ventilator so that he could recoup. And he had some very powerful metaphysical experiences in that interim. Came back, brought off the ventilator, and transferred by plane to San Diego, where he then was readmitted to intensive care. He's had really powerful experiences, and they were very spiritual experiences in addition to that. And this will be the first time he shares them publicly with a group, because we have the kind of group that can hear that. And it's really, really exciting. I'm so excited about it. To move to the afternoon, there's going to be a 2-hour workshop. And that workshop will be helping each individual get in touch with and support themselves. And that's going to be facilitated by Dr. Joyce C. Brown, who is also one of our ministers and a new member of the UCM board. And myself, my husband Tom, and you, Janet Giles. To get a little scary to think I might be teaching. I'm just going to teach for a small piece of it.
You're doing great.
But we do hope you'll come. It's $35 if you register before September 2nd, and $40 if you register afterwards. You get lunch, you get a goodie bag, you get to see all the wonderful silent auction items that are going to be just out of this world. I'm already sticking change in my pocket, except the change probably won't do it for this, but it's going to be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
We have applications in the back, we have flyers in the back, we have raffle tickets that Corey has.
Corey has raffle tickets.
You can sign up for.
Did we say what the raffle was?
It's a 50-50.
So the more you spend, the more you get when you win.
Yeah, the more you spend, the more you get when you win.
I won the first one.
Yes.
I won the second one.
And she won the second one. We've got winners in the building. How much did you win, Annie? Do you remember?
About $210.
Okay, good.
Second year was like $485, which
All
I
right.
donated back to the church guys. Only because I was on the board.
And I want to welcome the new people here. Pat, thank you so much for being here, and Cynthia for coming all the way from San Francisco. We have wonderful people, Simon and Kim, whom we might not know, and Tim. There's so many people here that are wonderful, wonderful human beings, and if you don't know someone, just walk up and say, "Hi, my name is." We're going to hear more about your name and how it defines you just in a little bit.
There's coffee in the back.
And there's coffee in the back. So right now, if you're ready before church, if you want to grab a cup of coffee, you can just do it, because it's not going to bother me. Trust me, places I've spoke, I've had people do just about everything. So it's okay. All righty. I see that Gabrielle has put out food for those who don't know it. Every Sunday, we have food donated, and please stop by and pick up something. Most of it comes from Trader Joe's. It's wonderful food. Take it home with you and say thank you to the wonderful Billy DeFrank Center for doing this for us. We have new books in the back. The books are free. Please look them over. I brought in some of my library, and so interesting books, okay? And I think, any other announcements anybody'd like to make? Dr. Eileen, you look pensive, but I want to know how the play is going.
Well,
Last week was Sophie Gilbert.
Last week
and we
was
had a
magnificent.
read-through of the play of The Other Side of Despair.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, on behalf of the cast, I really want to thank you all for your warm and wonderful reception of a piece in work. And Sophie left very humbled, very touched by your love and your support and your suggestions. And so she said she was going to go and start, working on tweaking things. But, thank you so much for being a wonderful place for her to share a major part of her life. For those of you who don't know, well, I'm going to be moving to New York next year. It is as a result of a play that I was in that we're still waiting for the results for. And the longer it goes, more and more people are saying, it's like, but we know you won. We know you won. They're just not announcing for some reason. But when that's announced, then I will be going to New York and I will be performing an off-Broadway play on Broadway and starting a whole new career for myself. I will be retiring as a chiropractor. And for those of you who are my patients, please know I am going to be vetting chiropractors. You will get a list of chiropractors who I have personally approved. So you can be able to find a new one, but I will not be leaving you in the lurch. But yeah, it was amazing. It was wonderful. And it was wonderful performing before, my family. And that means a lot to me. And your support has always meant a lot to me. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
All your dream.
Yeah. And Tim, you want to come on up here, please? Oh, wonderful, Tim. I'd like you all to just get comfortable and take a nice deep breath. And if you've got something in your lap, you might want to put it on the floor. Because nothing as bad as being in meditation and have something slip off your lap. It kind of disturbs you and the person next to you. So just take a nice deep breath and close your eyes. I want you to take a trip with me. This is a wonderful, wonderful voyage. We're going to meet a redwood tree. This is a huge, huge tree. And you can walk up to it and you can feel the energy from the tree. You can see the roots barely beneath the soil. And yet when you look straight up, it feels like you're looking up to the face of Creator. As your eyes travel up the trunk of the tree, you notice that the tree is made of colors. It's not just red or black or brown. There's green, yellow. There's every nationality, every person in the world is represented by this beautiful support. And you go up it, and you look up it. And just feel that, looking up with the sun on your back. And you just look up, you start seeing the branches. Each branch is a part of the tree, just like each one of us is a part of the Creator. And as your eyes travel further, you notice that in these branches, there's some birds' nests. There's some areas where squirrels have put nuts. And as your eyes travel further up, you realize that this tree has been here for over 2,000 years. This tree has been here since the birth of Jesus Christ. This tree has seen evolution. As your eyes keep going further, you can see the energy of Creator shining through this tree. And standing there with the sun on your back, with your feet on the soil, feel as strong and as rooted right now as this beautiful tree. Breathe in another deep breath and let it out slowly. You are one. You are one just like this tree is one. But all around you see a forest. And as you're standing here with this tree, feel the energy of the other trees, just like you can feel the energy of the beings that are sitting in this room with you right now. There is peace. There is love. There's an incredible belief that things are going to be getting better for this wonderful, wonderful river, but also things are going to be getting better for you. You're being nurtured by the sun. You're being cradled by the Creator. And most of all, you're believing in you and your ability to grow and thrive. And now let's just take another deep breath and return to the room. Some of you might want to hug that tree before you leave. Because when you hug a redwood, it hugs you back. And when you're ready, just open your eyes.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And we have an amazing speaker today. I don't know how many of you have ever gotten a chance to talk to our Reverend Dr. Janet Childs, but she is so well known in the critical incident field. She's so well admired for the work she does with death and dying. For us, she's just like an angelic force when she walks in the door. I was doing a reading on a person whose father is still not recovered from the VTA murders, assassination, whatever you want to call those. And I realized it's been over a year, and trauma doesn't fade. It's there. It doesn't go away. And when I was talking to this woman, and I said, oh, yeah, a friend of mine, Dr. Janet Childs, she said, oh, Janet has helped my dad so much. And here, this was just somebody who didn't know me. She saw my name on Yelp, and she called. And to find that there's that connection. And that's how connected Janet is to people's hearts and to people's minds. So please welcome Reverend Janet Childs. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna move over to my big chair over here.
All righty, get comfy.
And see where that 4 is? You get to go all the way to that 10.
Copy that. Oh, wow.
A big hand on the one.
Because you said you also had a little bit of a meditation, you know, I want you to have time.
Thank you. Well, it is such an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to be here with each and every one of you. And as I look and as I feel the virtual folks that are joining us, I feel this matrix of energy flowing and building that's creating safety for each and every one of us. That's creating safety for each and every one of us. And as we take that moment, my friends, to feel the safety, let your body feel it. Let your body take it in. That was an incredible meditation. The music was magnificent, Tim. And we wanted Tim to do the music, so it wasn't just the Janet Childs show. It was so perfect, and just the amazing invitation to join together with each other in the roots of the tree. Now you notice when Dottie was doing the meditation, she talked about the different colors of the tree. And I love that, because we're all different colors blending together. We're all different, individual people. But blending together, we make a powerful source and a powerful force. A powerful source and a powerful force for healing, rejuvenation, and building of our spiritual power and our emotional wellness. And a great deal has to do with all the colors being represented. Because when we represent all the parts of us that are unique, and we bring those to the world, it is amazing. That is what happens when you claim your name. Every time, my friends, that you hear your name spoken or see it written, it imprints on the cellular memory of your body. It imprints, the tone imprints, the word imprints. And so that's why it is so important. If you take nothing else from this particular, moment from me, listening to me, it is this. Your name is very powerful. Ask for it to be pronounced correctly. Ask for it to be pronounced correctly. It is so important that you hear your name the way you want to hear it, and that you can experience that reverberation of the wonderful energy. I was with a doctor at Valley Medical Center, and everyone called him TD. And I said, well, that's a cute name. I said, what would you like to be called? He said, my name is difficult. I said, give me a try. Tajji. Tajji. And I said, why don't we call you Tajji? And when I spoke his name, you could see that he was actually able to relax into that and to talk about the incredibly difficult experience that he had gone through. By the way, he gave me permission to use his real name, and there are lots of doctors at Valley Med, so you probably won't figure out who. But just to have that moment, to have your name spoken correctly. Now, what this also means for each and every one of you is that when we're speaking our name, or when we're sharing our name, that the different parts in our life, we may need to change our name. We may need to change our name. For a variety of different reasons, we may need to change our name. And that is okay. In many different cultures around the world, we have ceremonies for naming. I mean, it's one of the most universal things that is done around the world. Ceremonies for naming, and many times, many cultures have several different ceremonies for naming. So you're not necessarily, just given your first name that you might have been given at birth. You actually can change your name or add to it, or perhaps transform it altogether, depending upon the life stage you're in, where your journey is taking you, and that life journey as you go forward. Giving you and imbuing you with power that you need at that particular time. That's the power of this, my friends, is if we can claim our name and what it means, and then bring it forward, it actually activates more power in our energy system. So our names are so important. And many people in this room, perhaps, and on our Zoom, might have had to go through name changes. Might have had to say, I need to let go of this old name. I need to let go of sometimes when we go through a divorce or a separation, we need to reclaim what is called our maiden name. Sometimes we need to change our name altogether. The point is, the naming is so important. The naming is so important. I was reminded at the 1-year anniversary of the VTA shooting. We had an amazing ceremony that we had at 6:20 a.m. because that was when a year ago they were shot. And we named the names. And people were there and they were feeling and connecting with each other. But the minute we named the names, what happened? Connection.
Yeah. You can just feel them.
You could just feel them. You could feel their presence. I mean, one, burly rail operator, who you would not want to cross for any reason, came up and said, yeah, Janet, this was pretty good. And when the names were read, that's what did it to me. That's what allowed me to cry. And that's exactly the words he used. That's what allowed me to cry. So the naming of the names and the lighting of the candles, which is a tradition wherever I go, candles will follow. But there is such power in that. At our Light of Light ceremony, when we name the names, and for those of you that don't know about our Light of Light ceremony, it's now going to be our 40th year of doing it.
Wow.
And our wonderful Dottie has been a keynote speech at that. Our wonderful Mary has been a keynote addresser at that. Our wonderful Eileen has been a keynote speaker at that. And that event is very powerful because it allows us to come together in community and to name the names. And we get to say the names if we wish to, or if you wish us to say the names, we will say the names. When the names are said, those people are remembered. When they are remembered, they are full in our heart. They are full in our heart. And that's the power of this, my friends. It's naming our name, and it's also honoring and respecting other people's names and saying them correctly. And I mean, Tajji said, you were really adamant. Because I just kind of wavered, when you said TD. And he said, you wouldn't let me give it up. You would not let me give up my name. So I think it's much better to apologize when I pronounce it incorrectly than to not even try to pronounce it correctly. Okay. And there are many traditions around. I've taken a couple of articles and talking about naming. Okay, so a lot of times in our, overall cultural tradition in the United States, we tend to, what? We put the surname in front of, or behind of actually, your given name or your personal name. Okay, because there's a lot that goes on into a naming. Your name is your power in your world, but also it connects you with your ancestors, it connects you with yourself, it connects you with your family, and it connects you with your community. And I wanted to make sure that we addressed all of that because there are many different traditions that do not put the surname as the second name, but put the surname as the first name. For example, in China, the surname, the family name, is the first name, and then your personal name is the second name. In our wonderful Spain, Latin America, and sometimes in Mexico as well, there's an amazing tradition where everybody gets to keep their family names. So it is, and I'm going to have to put on my glasses to see this because otherwise. All right. After marriage, Spanish surnames do not change. So therefore, the naming tradition makes it possible for the mother to never lose her maiden name. Now what this means is that she keeps her ancestors, doesn't she? She keeps her ancestors. So it would be Teodoro Lopez Corazones marries Maria Andulu Melendez, and that equals Pedro Lopez Andulu. So what that means is that after marriage, they keep their names. Now, we can refer to the wife as Senora de, whatever the last name of the husband. So it would be Maria Andujo Melendez de Lopez. Isn't that beautiful? And just listen to the fullness of that name. We're calling in the ancestors, right? We're calling in that amazing thing. And then I love what the Zulu tradition does, which was just so powerful to me. Let me see if I can find the page so that I don't misrepresent it. So what they do is they have what's called a milk name. A milk name. And the milk name is to protect the baby. And sometimes the milk name can be very, very unpleasant because they're keeping the negative energies away from the baby. So they name it a milk name. Now, for those of you that know me a little bit more deeply, you will know that I was born a preemie, and I lived in the hospital in an incubator for the entire first year of my marriage. Of my marriage 2 years.
I didn't do it. Not my fault.
So, to my marriage to the earth, how does that work? So, the wonderful thing about this is my dad, and he told me this much later, would call me Stinky. And that was his nickname for me. And he said, I deliberately called you Stinky because you have to poop to be stinky. And the more you pooped, the better you were doing. The better you were doing, the more likely we were able to take you home. But very much like the Zulu milk name, he actually gave me an unpleasant, right? An unpleasant name. And I thought about that as I was experiencing doing this wonderful talk with all of you. And I want to invite us to just breathe in our name. Just breathe in your name, my friends. Feel how it sits with you. Feel how it is for you to be in that name. What qualities does it give to you? What does it help you do and be? And if you are still using the names of your ancestors, I would like for you to go back to that ancestor that you may share a name with. What does that ancestor give you? What does that ancestor give you? Maybe strength, maybe courage, maybe gentleness. You know, as you say your name, you say the ancestor's name. Now, in the Catholic tradition, we get what on our confirmation?
Confirmation name, yes.
We get our confirmation name, which is usually connected to a saint or to an angel. And that is a very powerful energy infusion. It's an energy infusion. I have had the privilege of being at many weddings and officiating at weddings. And it is funny because now, when I first started doing this as a reverend, it was amazing because I would find that people would often take if it was a groom and a bride, the traditional male-female relationship, they would take the name of the groom, right, whatever that last name was, and they'd either slap it on the end of their, surname or just totally give up the surname and take that name. And it was very interesting. Then, as time progressed, I found that people were doing more of the hyphenated name, right? Like combining their names together. And as I worked with LGBTQ, people who are going through marriage ceremonies, which is one of the main reasons I got my license, was to be able to marry those folks, and to do that so that we would, have an official way to be married. They would often take the names of each other, or perhaps keep the names, or sometimes, one person would take the last name of another person. So every time you fill out a name change, right, down at the Board of Records, the records office, where we do that in our county, every time you change your name, you're bringing in new energy, not only to yourself and your body, but you're bringing it to all of the paperwork that you get. Everything you see is going to have that name on it, and it's going to resonate with you. Whether it resonates in a positive way or maybe a challenging way. I worked with a young man who had decided to change his last name because it just didn't fit anymore. He felt very rejected by his parents and family that came from the Midwest, and he said, I'm going to change my name into something that gives me spiritual energy. And so he changed his name. And it was amazing. He said, the minute I did that, Janet, and I walked out of the records office, he said, I felt a lightening. It's like he had been carrying the burdens of the ancestors of his old name. And I went, wow. And he said, I literally felt like a huge weight was taken off my shoulders. And it was amazing. It was amazing. And I said, may I ask what name you chose? Because he had a couple that he was thinking about. And he said, my new last name is Angelo. And he was Italian, of course. And what is Angelo in Italian?
Angel.
So,
Male angel.
a male angel, actually. Exactly. Yeah. So the power of that was feeling the burdens lifted, and then feeling that new energy coming in exactly the way that he needed it to come in. Exactly the way that he needed it to come in. So that, my friends, was why it is so important to do your name the way you want it done, and to be very, very powerfully aware of how we're going to make that work and how you're going to claim that. So what I'm going to do is ask my wonderful Tim if he would play some music behind me. And we're going to do a little meditation. And I actually have, I don't know how many of you have pencils. Do you have pencils or no? We have some paper in my little bag here. No, that's fine. If you have pencils and paper, yeah, we're going to use this after the meditation. We're just going to do a little meditation where we actually journey with our name and what it is and how we can claim it. All right. Take a nice deep breath. And I'd like you to go to a beautiful place. A place where you feel totally safe and totally connected to this earth. And as you are here in this place, you will notice that there are a group of wonderfully warm and caring people walking towards you. And they are making a gentle circle around you. And as they sit down in this beautiful place, you are in the middle. And one very special person comes towards you. And they have a candle in their hand. And they are saying, this is the light that is you. This is the light that is you. These people are your ancestors, your guides, your angels, and your people that might be here in your life presently. They are here to assist you in claiming your name. And so I want you to meditate on all the names that you have been called. And just place them before you as you are seated. Just place those names before you so that you can see them visually. Maybe your name, your nickname, whatever you were called. And just acknowledge these names. Acknowledge these names. And see how each sits with you, how each has felt to you to have. And now there is a beautiful parchment piece of paper that will be given to you in a moment. And as you meditate on these names, I'd like you to go into your heart and see, is there any other name that you might like to be called? What would allow your heart to be the fullest? There might be another name. Oh, my name. Oh, my name. As you flow to me, as you flow through me. Oh, my name. Oh, my name. You embrace me. You fill me with love. I claim you. I hold you. I bring you to my heart. Oh, I hold all of your energy, and you bring me home to my life, to my life, to my life. And so I want you to claim that name, along with any other name that is laid out before you. Any other name that you wish to claim. Take it into your heart. Take it into your body. And know that you have the right to your name. Just breathe that in. Breathe in that power. And take the candle that was given to you and see the people around you flowing towards you, and they are saying your chosen name. Feel it reverberate and enter every part of your being. Feel your body expanding. Feel your energy generating your name. And when you are ready, gently come back to this place, to this amazing community, knowing that you have your circle of friends and guides that will support you in asking for your name to be spelled and spoken correctly. And they invite you with their energy to be in that name, fully and in every way that you can. And know that by claiming this name, you are claiming the next dimension of power and healing and energy that you have to give. You are claiming your best self And so as the day goes on, I'm going to invite you to do two things. One, think about, with your beloved family and friends, about having a naming ceremony. Many of us have never had a naming ceremony. Have a ceremony, and it can be short and it can be fun, where you reclaim your name. And the other homework assignment you have is this. I want you to ask for your name to be spoken to you before the day is through, in its fullness, by someone that you like. Might be someone even in this community that might be able to do that for you as we enter into, ending church, and having that ability to say that name and hear that name spoken. So do you promise to do that for me?
Sure.
Wonderful. And I just want to leave you with this. There's a great quote by James Baldwin, whom I love, and it goes something like this. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. And when we face our power, we face our healing potential, and we face all that we can be, let us name it and let us claim it.
Thank you, Jan, and thank you, Tim. That was fantastic. Before we go any further, I wanted to make sure that all the people who were on Zoom were there. I got a call this morning from Chen Li, and she had to put her husband, Glenn Dunning, into hospice. And she said, please put him in his prayers. And
She's on the line.
and that she wanted us to know that she sees it. They're in the last stretch. This woman has been so incredible in taking care of her husband and the work that she has done. For those of you who know Chen Li, she used to play the keyboard at Christmas when we had our center. She is this beautiful, beautiful angel, and I was really glad that we went up and ordained, so she is also now a reverend. And the thing about Chen Li is that she is a healer with music. So anytime her husband was getting in any kind of distress, she would play music for him and calm him down. And I know Mary and Corey and Janet, you went and saw them. And Glenn is ready to go. But it's hard to let somebody go. So when you think of him today, this is not somebody in their 70s. This is somebody in the late 50s who has had a very difficult time. And just we want to pray that he has an easy release. So when you think of Glenn today, just say, we bless you, we release you. And then think of Chen Li, and we bless you, and we support you. She needs our support, and she needs our love right now. And before I go any further, naming names, I forgot to ask our wonderful Chris and Rebecca how they're doing, because they're back and they were here and you got to exercise with them. Thank you so much for doing this. Really do appreciate it. Thank you, Ashley, for helping. Thank you, everybody who helped set up today. John wasn't here, and Gabrielle was running around helping us too. And thank you, Lonnie, for making coffee. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for mentioning names, because I think that is really important. And what I'm going to do right now, you know how I am. You never know what I'm going to do. I'm going to start at the very back with Gabrielle. Stand up and say your name.
Oh.
Okay.
Yay.
Go, Chris.
Reverend Chris.
Okay.
Yay, Reverend Chris.
Here
All
we go.
right.
Come on, Simon. I name your name and then tell you to name it. Okay, but
I know what you find it.
Yay! Here we go.
Cynthia and Pat. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one you originally got or the one we picked?
Whatever one you pick.
Evans.
Evers. Thank you, Evers.
Thank you.
Eric.
Eric or Aaron?
Eric.
Eric, yay, Eric.
Mel.
Yay, Mel.
Yay, Mel.
Ashley.
Ashley. Chris and Rebecca.
Oh, Rebecca has to call her own name, come on. That's not fair. Okay.
Christine.
Yay.
Eileen.
Eileen.
Joan Banks, Sue.
Joan Banks.
Tim.
Tim.
And Kathy or Annie.
Lonnie.
Lonnie. Amanda.
Oh, Amanda.
Hey, Amanda.
Amanda.
Mary B. Gary.
Mary B. Gary.
Be Bakley.
Gately.
Corey.
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 Yes.
Janet.
Janet.
Kathy.
Kathy.
Courtney.
Corky. And
I am Dottie, and I wanted to say the reason you don't usually hear my full name is because it becomes a story. My name is Dottie Falls Boone. It sounds like they're describing something I'm going to do. I just go by Dottie.
Well, on Zoom we have Donnie Christensen, Lynn and Jin Lee, we have Patty and Joyce, we have Lauren, we have Ruth, and thank you, Ruth, for buying all the stuff you did at Women's Wellness Center, and Scott.
Hey!
Yay!
Thank you. And the other thing.
Laura and Sherry O'Sullivan and Laura.
Oh, wonderful.
Great. Well, thank you so much, people, for watching us. And you're lucky you did, because the parking here is horrendous. So you made the wise choice, okay? For those of you who are the instructors for the upcoming classes that I'm teaching, Lonnie, did you get one of these?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I'm passing out a thing that describes the instructors, and I want you to look it over and put in something there. You know, you can say, my name is Patricia, and I am a Reverend, and I'm a great teacher, and I'm good in bed. I don't care what you say, okay? Brag what you're good at, you know?
And if people can contact you for readings or for a session, please be sure and put your contact information in there so that we, you get represented exactly the way you want to be. And so if you're looking for clients, somebody comes in and...
See, this is going to go out to the United States or to the world. This is not just San Jose where they know you. This is something we're going to be broadcasting as far as we can, because there's a lot of amazing speakers with great topics for anybody who's interested in spirituality and metaphysics, and also becoming a UCM minister. So we want to have everybody be bragging about themselves. And how many of you notice this, that so many times when people are into spirituality, they feel like, I don't want to brag about myself. They hold themselves too tiny. So this is a time where you can explode who you are for the world to know. Yes, Annie?
I just wanted to make sure your class announcements will be in the CCL Insights.
Right.
Because, as you know, I shall be distant.
Right.
But there will be occasions I want to send some money and attend a class. So.
And now that you've spoken, I'm going to have you stand up. So this is a time when we're going to be passing the basket. And you should have gotten a program when you came in. And the program gives you could follow along because I never remember it. Janet, could you give us what we say, giving
to the
ministry, from which I receive my spiritual support and nurturing, is an affirmation and consciousness of the truth that spirit is the prospering power enriching every area of our lives.
Yay, thank you so much. The minute I get behind the podium, I forget that prayer. I mean, it's just like, oh, this is the way it goes. And
you're holding a lot, Dottie. We can help you hold that one.
That's the one that just fades away. And I want you all to hold in your heart who you are. Instead of a closing prayer, we're just going to go back and bring in the meditation that Janet did. Don't hold yourself small. Don't say, oh, well, it's just me. I have people call me and say, oh, Dottie, it's just me. Don't. Tell people your name. Tell people who you are. And because that's the way they learn about you. Some of the best ways that people have learned about me are by the things I did that were either stupid or complete goof. You know, and they remember it, and they giggle, and they laugh about it.
Right.
And I giggle right along, because some of the things I've done are darn right memorable, you know. I was sharing with Simon the fact that during Gay Pride many years ago, I was wearing a very definite dress and a hat. And I was at the corner of Noe and Market, for those of you who might know where that is.
Yes.
And I was walking along, and a breeze came up, and my dress went straight up over my head, and I didn't know whether to put my hand on my dress and keep it down or hold on my hat, you know? But I do remember that the Class A4 patrons all thought it was hilarious. And by the time I got to a party, everybody said, "You should have seen that lady with the pink dress and it went over her head." And I was so glad I'd worn underwear that day.
I was gonna say, were you wearing underwear?
Yes, it was a day I wore underwear.
Okay.
But I got known. I mean, I made history right then and right there.
Crossing the street.
Crossing the street. And to me, it's hilarious. But people are afraid to say, "Was that you, Dottie?" And I say, "Yep, that was me." But silly things that you do sometime, own them and relish them. But first of all, enjoy who you truly are. Yes.
One thing, because I work with a lot of
Come
people.
on, stand up. You're just talking to me.
Sorry, that's right, I'm only talking to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing I find when I work with people is I work with a lot of different cultures. I ask them their name. Okay, and I don't care what they printed on my piece of paper. I ask them, what do they want to be called, and how do you pronounce it? And I work with them together. So, you know, if you work in a community with, you know, people, don't just tell them your name, ask them theirs, because it's really, really important, you know, and for everybody who's not Caucasian.
Right.
I mean, really, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, and I also want to thank you for it, because I too work multiculturally, and that's important. The other thing I wanted to add, Jan, is that you spoke about Catholic names, but in the Jewish tradition, you receive a Hebrew name.
That's right.
And so my Hebrew name is Hannah Gittel, which is as close to Aunt Kathy as you can get. It means Anna Gretel. And so that was my name given to me when they gave me my Hebrew name. So
Can you say that again?
Hannah Gittel.
Hannah Gittel. Beautiful, thank you. Hannah Gittel.
I was lucky enough, my parents named me Dorothy, and that's a saint, so I just kept Dorothy.
You kept Dorothy.
And Anne means filled with the Lord's grace.
Yeah,
That's right, Lord's grace.
Thank you so very much. It was wonderful having you here. Thank you for making way and getting through the traffic out there in the parking lot and being here with us. We certainly do appreciate it.
Thank you, Dottie.
Thank you,
Dottie. Okay. If you have any questions, I'm going to be sitting here.
I enjoyed your speech.
Thank you.